Go.
Okay, so the motherboard is everything on this, the circuitry that connects everything. The RAM is random access memory, is right here, and that's just erases itself every time. Well, every time you turn it off and stuff, it's just for immediate memory that you need. ROM is this one, that's read-only memory, and that's where you put the BIOS, where you have the what boots the computer is in there so that it can remember that each time. BIOS is basic input-output systems, and that's your operating system. That's the software that's loaded onto there. The graphics video card, this has it integrated in there somewhere, but that's just basically to boot to enhance the graphics to make it better. Then we have the audio card, which is in here, and that's just for facilitates the input and output of audio signals. And our power supply is this back here, and that's just so you can run electricity to everything in this inside. The DVI is a form of digital video transfer. It's the digital video interface, and it's similar to S-Video, and that's sort of standard definition video. Then on this computer we have VGA, video graphics array, and that's high definition, and it's where you plug in the monitor where you get the visual output. And then the parallel port is right here. That's where you plug in a printer, and the PS2 ports are these two, and that's where they used to plug in the mouse and the keyboard.
Okay, so next we've got the optical drive, and that's this guy in here. And it's pretty much just a disk drive. It just reads disks, and that's all it does. Next we have these peripherals, and that's just different things that you can also hook up to the computer. That can be the monitor, whether it's another hard drive, a mouse or keyboard, anything like that is a peripheral. The PCI bus, it's the local computer bus. It's for attaching extra stuff to the computer, and that guy, or just these guys right here. The fan, we've got several fans here on the computer. We've got one right here in the back, one for the power supply, and then there's one actually for the CPU. And that all it does is just cooling, to keep everything cool so it runs optimally. Expansion slots we've got over here, they're just spots where you can put more hard drives, more space on the computer. Besides that, we've got DDRM slots, and that's spots where you can put more RAM, which will just make your computer run faster. Kind of the brain makes it think, process better. Next is the SATA data serial cables, and that's a computer bus interface that connects the computer to pretty much the hard drive. So that's this guy right here, and it hooks up to the hard drive. A network card is just a card that you hook up to the computer that allows it to go to the internet. With this specific computer, it's just built into the motherboard, and so right here is where you're going to be getting internet access, and that is your RJ45 port, and that's where you get the internet access. Your FireWire is actually FireWire IEEE 1394 port. We actually don't have one on this computer either. It's just a different interface for data transfer, like USB, but we actually don't have it on this computer. USB port, like I just mentioned, we have a lot of those, and all it is just a way to transfer data as well as power. And so you can run keyboards, printers, lots of different types of peripherals on USB ports. Then there's the L1, L2 processor cache, and that pretty much is just the memory that the CPU uses to reduce processing time. And so the CPU is actually under this big old chunk of metal and the fan, and that's because it heats up a lot, and so that keeps it cool. And then finally we've got the bus, and that is just the way that the computer transfers data between different components in the computer, and this guy's going to be the bus. So now we got to put the computer back together.
slide thing.
Do you want me to? So let's see here.
You know where he went to look for it? Do you go that way?
It's right there. This guy.
Just from there to there, right?
Yeah. That. Let's see here. This guy goes right here. Like that. One of these guys. This goes right here.
Nate went to get some connecting cables from his work. Just have to wait a minute. He'll be back in a second. You don't have to actually install the whole operating system. You can just run it off the disk. So I need to go back and put a partition on. Install mountain lion. Clear my SSD partition. So now to recreate that partition, that could take like an hour. Well, I mean, if you don't want to do that.
This guy. Oh, I think it goes right.
There's a wash guy, right? What's his name? Andy or
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay.
Just grab one from the guy next over there.
This guy. No. Where does this go?
He's ready to court.
Oh, we didn't plug.
No.
Okay.
the motherboard.
Yeah, it's good.
It won't take up
VGA? Because what happens is, if you have
rather exciting. Motherboard is the foundation of a computer. Essentially, it's a communication foundation.
It's an app off of everyone.
Here, the RAM
so it's a plug-in for that?
are these
It's its own app.
smaller chips.